We are still in Arpeggio world. As I mentioned in my last video when we talked about arpeggios, we've still got a few more types of arpeggios to look at. So in the first video, we dealt with arpeggios that were based on 3-note chords, like for example, the C major triad. But now we're going to tackle arpeggios that are based on 4-note chords, and mostly dominant 7th chords. And I'll explain how these arpeggios are constructed, and then I'll play through them very slowly so you can follow along, and you can also see my suggested fingering. Now, these dominant chord arpeggios especially will be more challenging, as you're going to have to stretch to reach all the notes, especially if, like me, you have smaller hands. So remember, do not strain. And I'll show you some ways to avoid straining as we go along. So let's switch to the overhead camera and continue our journey through Arpeggio World. All right, let's look at these arpeggios that are based on dominant 7th chords. Now, we're not going to cover every dominant 7th chord in every key, and also we'll go through these playing each hand alone. Don't worry about trying to play these both hands together. As I've mentioned before, most of the time when you play arpeggios as part of a fill in a popular song, you won't be playing arpeggios in both hands at the same time. You might be playing arpeggios in your left hand as part of an accompaniment, or in your right hand as some type of decoration. Let's start with this arpeggio based on the C7 dominant chord. And we'll just cover 2 octaves. So notice as we go up, your thumb comes under, and then when we go back down, the 4th finger goes over. And then you'll notice that each one of these exercises is broken into 3 parts. Part 2, we start the arpeggio on the E of the C7 chord, or if you like, we've got it based on the 1st inversion, then we do one based on 2nd inversion, and then an arpeggio based on the 3rd inversion of the C7 chord. So watch the fingering very carefully, as it's different. So let's go back to the beginning and we'll play through it together very slowly, starting with the right hand. And now 1st inversion. Second inversion. And then finally, 3rd inversion. And then we'll end with an F major chord, because that's where that C7 is leading us. Now let's take a look at the left hand. Now, here's an arpeggio based on the F7 chord, dominant 7th chord. Notice here we start now on 1. And then 1 here. Start on 2 here. and the left hand. Now notice here, as we start this B flat 7 arpeggio, we're going to start on 2. And then you have these groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get into some of the sharp keys here, starting with this arpeggio based on the E7 chord, the E dominant 7th chord. Well, thanks for watching and for playing along. I hope you found this helpful. I know that these types of exercises can be a challenge, but I encourage you to stick with it, and you will see results. Remember, you don't have to do all these exercises every day. That would take a long time. Just 10 to 15 minutes a day spent with a few selected exercises, and you will benefit greatly. Not saying that you should practice arpeggios every day. You have 5-finger exercises, and you have scales, and now you have arpeggios. And you should just spend a little bit of time each time you sit down to practice going through some of these various exercises that I have demonstrated for you. You'll find it very helpful, and it'll help you later on when we learn how to play runs and fills when you're playing from a chord chart. So thank you again for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please be sure to leave those in the comment section. I make every effort to answer any questions you might have and respond to every comment. And my sincere thanks to those of you who have chosen to support the channel on Patreon. If you would like to support my work, I will leave the link to my Patreon page right at the top of the description. Also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm very grateful to all of you who have recently subscribed. Well, I'm grateful to all of you who have subscribed from the very beginning. So thank you again, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one.